Hi, everybody. Hi. How are you doing? How are you all? So, today we're continuing with our live tarot workshop, and I'm back live this week. We've got a terrible storm going on outside, so I had a few minutes and I just thought, right, why not? Let's do it now. I do like to do it at the beginning of the week in case it gets busy. So, if you want to follow along and type your comments, please do feel free to do so. I'm Anne-Marie, for those of you that don't know me, from Tarot with Anne-Marie. And I have taught tarot and been a professional reader for many a year. Too many, actually, about 30. So there you go. Let's jump right in. So let's bring this back to starting as I mean to go on. We are now on to the minor cards. Let's go over the minor cards. So for a moment, here we go. Hi, hello, Victor. How are you doing? Lovely to see you, my lovely. Great to see you too. So this is our tarot workshop. So this is just following along for anybody that wants to actually learn some tips and tricks about the cards. And we are going over the elements of air today. So I am bringing in the sword family, okay? I did actually take me off this, so just bear with me for 1 second. Oh my goodness me, my FaceTime camera's come up. I wanted to kind of keep that out of it, but there you go, showing the current screen. Right, let's get rid of me for 1 second, if that's possible. Okay. I have to do that. Okay, so for a moment, let's go through the sword family, and they are governed by the element of air, which is Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And the swords are all about the thoughts, how the mind is actually operating, and it refers to the intellectual and philosophical. Swords answer questions of an intellectual and philosophical or psychological nature, and it's a suit of swords that's often associated with communication. Right, Victor, lovely to see you. Funny spoke about how they got the Eight of Swords in a reading. Will be interesting to see its meaning. Well, you're going to have to wait for that one, I'm afraid, Victor, because I'm going to be managing just the Ace and the Two of Swords today. But if you bear with me, that will be coming up over the next coming weeks as I fly through the minor cards. So, yeah, Eight of Swords. Okay, what do you think it means, Victor? You know, interesting. Eight of Swords. Nice to pull a clarifying card. No worries at all. Why not give me your interpretation? I'd really love to hear it. So I'm going to move on to my next scene, which will bring me back in, and I'm back. Okay, so I'll be doing the Ace of Swords. But the Eight of Swords, Victor, if you know what that means, or you want to have a little go at it, I mean, are you a card reader, or are you learning, or are you fascinated, or are you just a tarot enthusiast? You know, where do you sit and stand with the tarot? I'll just wait to see if I can get your comment. There is a slight delay and the weather is awful. I've got quite a few watching. Funny, I only gave a few minutes notice. Thank you very much. You're all very welcome. The reader told me it's close to the Ten of Swords and backstabbing card. I'm being a lot of that in my life, sadly. Okay, right. Let's just jump in there for you and say it's close. It's an 8, 9, and then you get a 10 and so on. But the Eight of Swords is feeling restricted. But the restrictions, the sword family, it's all about our thoughts. So it's not actually really a reality, if you get what I mean. Okay, so let's use the analogy. I think I want a cup of tea. Well, thinking it, that's all it is, a thought. You might have that conversation in your head, and if you don't do anything with it, if it doesn't become an emotion, you know, if you think, I want a cup of tea, you've got to go, gosh, I really want that cup of tea. So if you want it enough, that's an emotion. And then an emotion can then trigger an action. And the action would be that you would go and boil the kettle and get your tea bag or your loose tea and make a nice infusion of tea. And then that would be the action, which is the ones family. And then you would finally result in it materializing or manifesting, which would be your pentacle family. So if you think really about the swords, it's our thoughts, it's our inner communication, and it's what's going on here, rather than what others are doing. It can be that others influence our thoughts and make us feel a bit dark, or whatever it is that sword is coming up. But the Ace of Swords is where we have that light bulb in our mind and go, new beginning. And it's about the will that we have with that thought and the force of being able to work out what it is we want to do with that thought. Now, of course, that can be double-edged. It can be, oh yes, I really want a cup of tea, but you know what, I haven't got any tea bags, so I'd have to go to the shop. No, I can't be bothered with that, I'll wait till later. So you see what I mean? That's kind of where the Ace of Swords is about having a brand new thought, a brand new beginning. Okay, Victor, you're saying it would be interesting to learn the cards you speak of today. Good, good. And you don't even need your own deck. You can actually use this PDF that I'm displaying for you. And of course, if you want to actually get the worksheets, just write to me. I'll be bringing that up on screen in a little bit, where you can write to me at hello@tarot with Anne-Marie, and then you can have your copies similar to this. They're white, they're more bullet points, and I've also got quite a few bits and pieces that will be coming up in the new year. Hi, Barinda. Sorry, can't see the message that you sent to me. I will respond when I've done the live. I'm good, Barinda. Thank you. How are you? It's early. You're at home. Oh, I'll talk to you about that. And yes, we can. Okay. So once I'm wrapped up here, we can do a reading. Okay. Right, my darling. So, the Ace of Swords, if you look at the picture, you kind of see this is a hand, and that hand is represented as the hand of God. You know, this gift that we're being given, and we're in this place of being able to have this lovely thought. Yes, the ace, not the 8. Okay, the ace, number 1. Okay, if we look at the card in the diagram sitting next to me, that way, I can't do it. It's it's there next to me, isn't it? Okay, so it's a new way of thinking, new thought, new action in your head, maybe, or maybe it stays as a thought. And a sword can have a double edge. There's a positive and a negative, you know. It's definitely a new idea. And if we look at our card, we can see the mountains there in the background. Now, the mountains actually represent our challenges and our difficulties that are yet to be faced, or that we are facing. Okay, and in that picture there, well, if you looked outside of my window, you would see that that sky is probably greyer and darker. It's like nighttime out there. It is lashing. Maybe you can hear the rain. I'm hoping it won't interfere with my stream, as the internet the other day had. It was so low, I couldn't stream to all platforms. So hopefully, yes, I know I've got Barinda on Facebook, and I've got Victor showing that he's coming up there on YouTube. And I've got 6 watching. Do come and say hi. We're doing a tarot workshop, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very relaxed, and you're here, and you're very welcome to join me, Anne-Marie. Okay, so you're a healer and an empath. You feel stuff. Gosh, that's wonderful. Well, you see, when you use a tool, whichever it is, and in my case it's tarot, and I've done crystal balls, and the crystals, and runes, and goodness knows what else, the I Ching, and it goes on, mediumship, psychic development. I trained for years in different work classes, at a college, all sorts of things, and my own studies, of course. Led me down this path to actually choose tarot as my tool, so that, yes, those feelings that I used to get, I can actually make sense of them with my tool. That's not the same for everyone, or, you know, as an intuitive, sometimes people quite like to actually just work without any tools, but the tarot can help you give that meat on the bone, or that detail, if you like. And the Rider-Waite deck are so symbolic that they're wonderful. So, new way of thinking. I'm sure you can hear the rain lashing there in the background. Oh, goodness me. Time to stay in, like that mountain. It looks very bleak out there. So what does it represent? It's like, well, it's the cutting away from what you're going to actually keep and what you're going to discard. What's a good thought and what's not a good thought. And the Eight of Swords, Victor, that you were talking about is where we're actually a little bit trussed up with our own thoughts. So we're getting in our own way, as it were. And we can't see clearly. We're thinking everything is very negative. Everything is upsetting us. So that's what the Eight of Swords can mean. It's not other people. It's actually what's going on in our own mind and how we're communicating, perhaps with others, and our own communication of thoughts in our mind. So the Ace of Swords, going back to that, is mental, energy, and action. And it's a new opportunity to develop intellectually. So you might go, gosh, I'm going to learn something. It's something I want to do. I want to actually, I've got an idea. It's like the other day, I came up with an idea. Okay, I'm going to put I did a tarot journal, so that'll be available soon. So you can actually, I've done all the cards as in graphics for you, where you are able to journal whatever it is you want about those cards. Write down your thoughts, feelings, what happened, what spread it came up in, what day it was it about you, did you do a reading for someone else? I did that. So that's a typical example of the Ace of Swords. So it's also a new opportunity to be able to use that willpower and forceful thinking so that that idea can go further from, oh, I feel I want to do that, into action, so you end up with a product, okay? Sudden insights and intellectual opportunities. I think I want to learn a language. I'm going to do this, or I'm going to sign myself up for this class, or, I actually think that I can't see any point being friends with X, Y, and Z anymore. We don't see each other, we don't talk, whatever it is. I think I need to cut away. So it can be like that. It can have a positive, it can have a negative, okay? Happened sadly to you last night. I'll be on Twitch, people misunderstand me saying it's disrespectful. I was only trying to make a joke. And now, day after, I can see it in a different way. Yeah. Well, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Okay, so, Victor, you've seen it in a different way. That's the sword. Being able to see it one way at one time, and then, the other aspect. Perfect example of a sword. And our thoughts, how we can be on one side. It is the form of the Ace of Swords. You're absolutely right. Got to bring that up. I'd like to add that to the broadcast there. So, pop that down there next to me. Yeah, absolutely right. So, most definitely, that's what it's about. It's also about quick thinking. It's a bit like me here. I've got the class prepared, but what I say, I want it to be natural. So I have to think very fast, and I have to be on my toes, and I need to know I'm passionate and knowledgeable about what I'm talking about, and at the same time watching everything that's happening with your comments and trying to reply to them, that kind of thing. Quick thinking. I'm able to do it at the moment. Some days not so good, some days better than others, and yeah, fast insights. So, yes, I could have a script. Well, then it would be like, I'm reading a script. That wouldn't work for me at all, okay? But, yeah, I've got my bullet points there because I want to actually give you the highlights without going off down a rabbit hole and losing sight of what it is and what it means. You're too happy to chat. It's easier to move away from it. Yeah. Oh, you can move away from that. Absolutely, Victor, absolutely. And if you remind me, I'll pull a couple of cards for us all today. The energy's been different, hasn't it? We've had a new moon, and an eclipse while we had that new moon. And that new moon was significant of letting go, detoxing, decluttering. You know, I decided that I would try and get back into a little bit more exercise. It's not easy with the weather. I like to walk, I like to swim, but it's all outdoors, and you wouldn't do that in this weather, would you? And I think we've got this for 2 weeks, so I'm hoping that I will trot back onto my Pilates machine and get into the weights. So that's my thought, and I was going to do that today, and I thought, well, no, I'm going to do my workshops. I got my thumbnail ready. That takes ages, and I'm going to talk to my parents, so I'm going to have a chat with them. So that's me today. Simply why? Because I was so full on last week with readings. I've got another reading today with somebody I expect, and I'm expecting another lady through. So a quietish day for me. There's normally a lot more going on than that. So yeah, that was my idea. But if a customer comes in, I'll be flexible. So that's the Ace of Swords. And does anyone have any questions? Yay, Victor, yay. I love that. Thank you. Oh, that's so nice of you, Belinda. Thank you very much. I love what I do, and I love the people that's with me. So I'm a very lucky girl, and I get to do what makes me happy. And I made a big decision to do that. And yes, it started with a thought, just like the Ace of Swords. So, has anyone got any questions about the Ace of Swords? Okay, let's have a scroll through here. I know I've got some more watching, and not everybody is. Oh no, I've got to put that back. Bear with me. I've got to lock my scene, which I did, but then I realised that when I was playing the first scene, that my head was in the way. I did try and organise it, but with the best will of the world, sometimes it doesn't always do what I want it to. It's not Ecamm's fault, which is what I stream with. It's me. Okay, right, let's move on to the next PDF, which, oh, come on. Bear with me, folks, for some reason. There we go. That's a bit slow. I think it's the old internet. Right, so I'm going to just move that for a moment. Okay, righty-ho. So what have I got at the moment? We've got the Two of Swords. So let's have a look at that picture. So from the Ace of Swords, where we had this hand, which represents the hand of God, actually coming into the picture and holding up the swords, which is that thought, that inner voice, that communication, that thing that's going on in our mind, we can actually look at things 2 different ways. Just like Victor said, he's making a joke. Now people thought he was being disrespectful. Now he can see it in a different angle. Maybe not at the time. You're too busy trying to think on your feet, Victor, aren't you? To try and sort of go, gosh, that wasn't my intention. It's not what I meant at all. What's going on here? The wonders of technology. Yeah. Well, I'm just delighted that it's working in this storm. Excuse me, I'm going to move my chair for a minute because I can feel my shoulders kind of going. I've got my jacket on today. It's like, I think I'm a bit cold, and there's a radiator behind me, believe it or not. It's chilly. Right, Two of Swords, partnership. So the Two of Swords does actually show a scene with a lady in it showing that she's got 2 swords, and she's got them crossed over her chest, and lo and behold, she's wearing a blindfold. Two of Swords came up for you as your first card. Right, so this is a card of saying indecision, okay? So it's about not being sure, okay? And sometimes it can be that blindfold is saying, metaphorically, I suppose, look, we're just not seeing it. And that perhaps was yesterday for you, Victor. You didn't see it yesterday. Today, put your swords down, put your hands free, took your blindfolds off, and hey presto, you can see it from a different side. And it can be about partnerships, okay? And it can be about putting up a defence against attack, Again, a bit like what Victor said, coming at you. Oh, you're being disrespectful. And Victor saying, that's not my intention at all. I was trying to make a joke, And sometimes people can be way too serious, So it's whatever it is, isn't it? Okay. So it can be a negative card. Okay. Why? Because we can't see the woods for the trees. Okay. We're doing it to ourselves. Okay. Can be a little bit that I'm being a bit stubborn. No, I meant this. I meant that. I'm thinking this, and this is how it is, and it's all logical to me. But there's always a double edge to the sword. There's always another side. There's always a yin and a yang. There's always perhaps a positive, a negative, and it's thoughts, and it's communication, and it's our verbal sort of interaction. It's a psychology, all of that that's going on, rather than it's instead of going, well, somebody got a sword to me with the Ace of Swords, they're jabbing me. No, it's your mind. Yes, they may have had an effect up there and you can't stop thinking about it, okay? But it's your thoughts. It's not an action of you or someone else, okay? So it's not a thing that is happening, not an action. It's not manifested yet. It's still just a thought, sitting on it, thinking about it, okay? So yeah, she's looking with her blindfold on and going, gosh, I don't know what to do. And in the background there, we've got the water, that represents the emotion. We've got the mountains and the rocks, which represents challenges. And the rocks can also be, that she's earthy. She's got her feet on the ground in this picture, so it represents that she is grounded. So that means she's not up there with the fairies, even though the air family are in their heads. Okay, she doesn't know what to do. So, right, I'm reading. Can you prediction my mind? So it hurt me when I felt this. I was trying to light up some jokes of tarot and some readers. Way too serious. Way too serious. Yeah, I totally get it. Victor, can you predict my mind? Hi, NM. How are you? No, we're doing a tarot workshop and we're discussing this card. And no, I wouldn't say it's like that. But when these cards come up, we're talking about it's the mind currently and where it's at. Okay, so Victor, what I would do? I would write down, how you felt, just a short note to yourself. And if it's playing on your mind and you're actually feeling, well, hang on a minute, I can't take a joke. Hang on a minute, maybe that wasn't the time or the place. See it from both sides. And once you've finished, what star sign are you, Victor, please? I just want the element. What I would do if you were fire, I would burn it. And why? When you write down your thoughts, it gets rid of them. You hand them over to the universe and go, I've had enough of this. It's going round and round. It's driving me bonkers. Just want to let go. And if you burn your written statement about what was going on in your head and how it was making you feel, that burning and that symbolism of burning is letting go, it's releasing. Your Sagittarius, happy birthday, Victor. Pisces moon, sensitive, lovely combination, fire and water. So the fire is your action, but your moon is most definitely your feelings. Belinda is Sagittarius sun sign, coming up for a birthday soon. Happy birthday to you, Victor. It's Sagittarius time. And the moon that Belinda has is a Cancerian moon. So again, she's got water. I'm Cancerian, that's my sun sign, and my moon is Leo, and my ascendant is Scorpio. So yeah, I'm quite a mixture there. But the Scorpio ascendant makes sense of forensically how I like to dig in deep and find out the real details and nitty-gritty of everything. I like to go intensely into things. So that's my ascendant there. So, yes, if you burn up because you are Sagittarius, I would then, because you're a Pisces moon, see, I'd be clever and combine that, and I'd then wash it down the loo, okay, with the water. So you've got fire, as in the intention of saying, come on, universe, give me a break. I can see now how it looks to them, but it wasn't my intention, and let it go. And with other tarot readers, sometimes, yeah, they can be serious. They can be looking at this, that they, I know what it's like to be intimidated by others in classes and workshops and shows, many a mind, body and spirit exhibition, all of them, soul exhibitions, whatever. I'd do them and they'd come along and go, who are you? And I'd say, my name's Anne-Marie. Hi, nice to meet you. Because I could feel the kind of, this is our territory. And I'd say, thank you for having me. Good to get to know you all. What else can you do? And I'd go, I'm sure I'm going to learn lots from you, which usually relaxes the situation because I did learn from them. Might have been lots of positive, and might have been stuff that I kind of already knew, but I thanked them very much and went on my way and turned up again next time. So, yeah, some tarot communities can actually, like any community, they can be very welcoming. And some can actually just be a little bit sort of curious or suspicious of who we are. And we've got to understand that, I guess. Okay. Hitting 36 years now, so 11 years ago, you woke up. Like I was saying, the gift's opened me in the last 25 years. And it's grown on me nowadays. You feel spirits and feeling stuff of how it will happen to that person. Excellent. So as an empath, you are actually feeling, make sure you ground yourself as well, my darling, because, it's lovely, it's a privilege to get all of that, but you also need to be able to say, hold on a minute, I'm Victor, and I need my privacy too. So that's why I like the tarot, because when I pick it up, we start, when I put it down, it's my life back. Yeah? Just as a tarot reader, I don't take things seriously. Life's too short. It's too much fun. That's the Leo in me. So, this is a card of indecision. So that's perhaps why it came up for you, Victor. Perhaps you didn't know what to do. Perhaps you felt you were a bit on the edge there. And this this blindfold can easily be taken off. How? She has to put the swords down, come out of her head, use her hands in an action, take the blindfold off. Then she can see, got lots of options. I'm grounded, I'm not in the water, I've got water behind me, I've got the rocks, she's got the greenery there, knowing that she's supported by the universe because the green is the heart chakra and it's earthy, okay? She's got the sky up there. Look at that lovely crescent new moon up there. Beautiful. So, time of change, a time of letting go of things, a time of actually detoxing, okay? So, yeah, hello, we've got Jadzia Dax. Hi, how are you doing? Nice to see you, and thank you so much for coming in. I'll add you to our broadcast. Hello, lovely to see you. So, yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Victor, and that's why when I joined things, I'd kind of go, this is great, I'm picking up what I can, and if they make me feel welcome, I'll stay as long as I'm enjoying it. When I stop enjoying it, or stop feeling that I've learned something, it's time to actually cut away and go off and find something else that is also going to educate or stimulate the passion for learning. It's finding, some people are into collecting, some people are into, I've been on forums and it's like, it's very opinionated, or it's like you're not making enough of a contribution, where a lot of people just want to watch. They want to sit on the fence. It's like people that's watching here, there's some saying hi and some just watching. That's marvellous, whichever it is that you're most comfortable doing, and some people just want to retain it and take it all in. So I totally understand that. A sense of humour will always win the day. Always. It's not about being too serious, is it? That's the thing. What you do now is send Mum warm healing now. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Okay, so my love, let's just recap. Two of Swords, partnership, putting up a defense against an attack. We talked about that. Sometimes we see it as a negative card. I can't see, I can't think straight. Or we choose deliberately not to say, no, I've made my mind up. I heard you, but this is my logic, that kind of thing. I don't know what to do. It's two different ways that could go here, and I don't know which way. I'm indecisive about that. Can feel like we're living on the edge, not quite sure what to do. Shall I sit on the fence? Is it safe? Shall I sit? Shall I watch? Shall I do nothing? Sometimes it's about calling a truce. Sometimes about saying, do you know what? I'm just calling a truce right now. Okay? It can be about difficult choices, and it can be about choosing between two very difficult options. Life is full of it, absolutely full of it. Do I pay this? Do I pay that? Do I say to this person I can't come, but that person really needs me? These kind of things that go round and round every day where we feel, gosh, don't really know what to do. Sometimes we come to a stalemate. We just need to sit and think. And when that happens, I always say, just walk away, forget about it for 10 minutes, go and do something else. Go for a walk, go and read a book, go and phone a friend, go and tidy up, go and do something, that's productive. Come back to it. It'll come. It'll move. Everything does. Okay, but at the time we go, gosh, it's never, ever going to change. And I empathise and sympathise with that because that has been in my life too. And at the time, it can be a massive, massive weight upon your shoulders. And this is also a card about the power between logic and reason. I think we've covered it. Okay, so let me just play this for you. And I'm back with a different scene, and there you go. Look, I've put up there. If you would like a copy of the worksheets, how to email me at hello@tarotwithannemarie.com, okay? And yes, you can see that I do private readings, just to remind you. On the table with me today, several different decks. Well, I've got loads, but I don't want to make the table cluttered, and we don't want to go on too much about different things, and it's exciting to see what she's got in store next time. So, we have got the Ace of Voices. Now, that comes from the tarot deck, the Muse, which I've got here. Okay, so that's from this deck, Muse. And in this image, the Muse is using the Ace of Voices. So that's about conversations that we have in our head, like I was talking about, isn't it? Yeah. And, as we look at that, we can kind of see, look, this is kind of coming into her head here. So she's able to actually have that thought. We can actually see almost that sword hitting her in the head to represent there's a new way of thinking in the mind. And I love how her hair has got all these different colours, which I would say is the chakras, knowing that she is full of energy and that she's connected. And we've got the owl there. Owls represent all sorts of things. For me, symbolically, that would be wisdom. Okay, again, we've got all those colours. Looks like a washing line there. And, the earthiness here of the earth. And we've got the green chakra, unconditional love, pink and green as in the chakras. Same thing, the heart chakra, indigo there to represent the third eye, and so on. And then we've got this almost like violet light, which is what we imagine is kind of coming out from the crown of our head. Sorry, sometimes the colours change when I move with the lighting. Just kind of the temperature and the hues change on the filming. So if you saw that happen, I didn't suddenly, light up like a chakra myself. Oh gosh, we've got thunder there. Okay, so we've also got the pyramids, we've also got the mountains, we've got the sky there, we've got this beautiful blue for the healing that's going on there. So it's some really lovely images, okay? And then we've got the Ace of Swords here from this deck, and this deck I've got for you is the Light Seers. Very, very popular deck. Okay, I am in no way working in conjunction or nothing. They're my personal decks. Just want to show you different Ace of Swords. So this one, look at this, going round and round and round, showing, like a shell or a snail or stairway. Isn't that lovely? Absolutely gorgeous. Stairs there, yeah. Oh, so you love those cards. That's wonderful, Barinda. Thank you so much. Lovely. Okay. Right, I've got another comment here. Can you ask a question? Rahul. Hi, Rahul. How are you? You can ask a question, but we are actually on a lesson. If it's relating to the lesson, by all means. If it's a question, as in for me to give you a tarot reading, that's Fridays. So if you want to go ahead, please feel free to ask if it's about the decks or what we're talking about, of course. And of course you can ask, but if it's a question about a reading, I'll do a collective in a moment, okay, for everybody, but it will be a generic one. So go ahead if you want to. I would love you to. I just wanted you to know that I won't be doing sort of like free readings, as in for individuals. I do that on Fridays, 5:30. If you like, share and subscribe to the channel, you'll be notified if you press the bell when I come on or the next time I upload a video. Okay, and this one, Ace of Swords. Right, so Rahul, that's going to be a question for Friday, my darling. Okay, I understand what you're asking. Very happy to answer it. Come and see me on Friday. Do actually subscribe. You can feel air and fire into the deck for card at the moment. Good, 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 good. Connecting with your energies, okay? So, Ace of Swords here, the winter weight. I'm going to be using this all through December for my readings because it's going to look a bit silly using it in July, isn't it, when it's all snow and Santa Claus? But it's a fantastic deck. If you haven't seen it, do look at my unboxing of the Winter Weight deck that I've put up on my YouTube channel, and I think I've put it in the Facebook group as well. Okay, so that's the Ace of Swords with the snow, the Hand of God again, the cloud representing head in the clouds. When you see clouds, people, symbolically, it just means we've not got that clarity yet. Okay, mountains always represent struggles. Okay, snow here, well, snow is water, isn't it? Our emotions. And we've got the greenery here showing that that's our heart chakra, but it also represents grounding, and the crown is there, some sort of regal or official sort of statement coming up there. That looks really, really red on camera. It's actually a bit more sort of corally orangey red in the actual deck. So I can't always get it to match exactly, but it's a fair reflection. I do mess about with the camera before I come on to try and make sure I get the very best out of it. Sadly, the wording is clear, but it's the shadow of me, you see? Yeah, so there we go. That's that one. And this one, well, I've not shown you this deck. Gosh. Not all of my cards have boxes because I've had them a long time. This is the Morgan Greer Tarot. Okay, lovely, colourful deck, and very pretty. So look, we've got two roses, one red, one white. We've got the fern here. We've got all this sort of garland here, almost like a heart. We've got the crown again here. We've got the hand of God. We've got the mountains here. We've got the clouds. We've got this gold in this actual handle of the sword. We've got the ice here. No sword at all here, just showing the mind, the head. You see? So hopefully that will help you with what a sword means. Don't ever feel that somebody's coming at you in that way of saying they're putting a sword towards you. Was it just Fridays I'm doing reading? I'd love to get a full reading, just not a rich man, sadly. Yeah, Fridays. Fridays 5:30. No problem. I do start from £15 for reading, and if that's too much for you, then totally just come along to the freebies on Fridays, and you can ask a couple of questions. If you get in there early enough, you can keep asking until the hour's up. Whether I have lots of people, I will try and make sure it's fair, of course, but you can ask. Think of your question and pitch your question as in depth. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. And if you're learning tarot, I'll be doing a little bit of interaction about what cards you've pulled for yourself. So get a bit of a reading there. So once we've finished the workshop, and actually help you out a little bit. Might do some Zoom sort of workshops and spotlight courses of helping you all out. So it's a bit more interactive, so that I can help if you draw a card. At the moment, this is kind of going through it. Don't feel you compare yourself or in competition with me or anyone else, whether we're just right at the beginning, we've been reading for years. People always teach us things. And it's just that gracefulness to actually go, my gosh, I'm always learning, and I'm delighted I'm always learning. Pick things up all the time. So I've got so many books, so many decks. What else can I find out? Yeah? It's all related, you see. Right, I want to show you the twos, because we've done the Two of Swords. Okay, so I should move those to one side for you. So, Two of Voices here, okay? The Two of Swords, where we saw that she was indecisive. Here we've got a lady with a blindfold on. It's sort of a mirror image, but sort of with her head at back, her hair. I quite like that. And we can almost see like sort of image there. Really nice. Will she walk through that door? Which way will she go? What's going on here? The clouds representing. Not got the clarity yet. Not certain yet. Need to wait for it to clear to be able to actually have that clarity. And the lady's face there, almost like wistful sort of thinking, what's happening next? Okay. I hope to learn even more. I have to go and have a bit of decks. Oh, that's wonderful that you stream. Oh, no, not at all. Listen, sharing. Just say that. So, look, I'm sharing. This is what I'm doing. As in, and honestly, I have seen people that come out with some really fantastic stuff, and they've never even picked up a tarot deck, or they have, and they've taught so many things to me and to the group that I've been in at the time. Absolutely love it. So seriously, I'm learning all the time. There's different things. It's like this muse deck. They actually go and say, look, this is what they said about their this one. Sorry. The airy swords have grown into voices, as the difficulties we face when creating our lives is often a result of communication or of the voices inside of our own heads. How lovely is that? So you get a book with it. You see what I mean? Beautifully said. I'd probably take a lot longer to say that. Just love the fact that it kind of, pulls it all together so very quickly. And also, any sort of decks that you get, they come with a book. There's always something new in those books that you kind of learn about. So, Victor, it's not about knowing it all. I've been doing this 30 years. I am still very much learning, very much happy to share. That's why I say this is relaxed. This is I've met such intuitive readers with various decks that I couldn't work with, and they go, I see this, 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 and this. And I go, God, that's marvellous. I actually had a colleague, darling Belinda, and she said to me, gosh, if I'm stuck, I will sometimes just pull out things from the cupboard and I read with those. And I went, what do you mean? And she said, Bisto, this packet, that packet. Absolutely. Why did she say that? You might think that's nuts. Well, because the colours. She was looking at the colours, she was looking at the shape, she was looking at the symbology, the graphics that's going in there, what it all says to you. Okay, so this one here, this is the light seers. Okay, that's the image for that one. So light seers, look, she feels that she's been pecked at with birds. Okay, blindfold is on. She can't see what's happening, fighting and scrambling her way. Yeah, it can feel like that sometimes. Chaos, a bit worrying, a bit sort of like, everything's coming at me and I can't see it. I'm being pecked to death here. I think that's a really good image. And then we've got our beautiful winter weight. She's sitting there, our traditional Rider-Waite based sort of deck. Yeah, the winter weight there. And I love the fact that they've changed the colours, the more purpley going on there for that indigo sky. We've got this wonderful, wonderful red dress on. She's got black hair here, the snow-capped mountains in the back. Even the sea looks as if we can see that, the snow's starting to fall and maybe lay a little bit on the top, maybe form little sort of ice patches in the sea, as can happen. And the snow at her feet, but she's grounded. And if you can see just peeping through there, 2 little brown shoes. Brown represents the fact that we're connected to our past. Brown is also representing the earth. She's earthed. What does that mean? It means we're grounded. It means we're not up there with the la la, that's all I'm thinking about. Just because I'm a tarot reader does not mean that, I am up there with the fairies all the time. I live with an Aries. My God, that's why. I chose him for one reason. Fire sign, boom, tell it like it is. And I'm kind of like, right, won't waste my time. I've got that message now loud and clear. I'm surrounded. Most of my friends are fire. My mother's earth, my father's air, my brother's air. I've got another brother that's fire, and I've got a sister who's also Cancerian like me. Okay, so yeah, you see, it's what's around us and the bits and pieces. Go and have a look at your natal chart, folks. Go and Google it on for free and find out what your sun and moon and ascendant is, because sometimes that can speak to you far, far more than just your direct sun sign. Okay, and then you can go even further and find out where all the houses are. That's how I read, you see. When I do your tarot reading, I'm giving you your natal chart sort of houses, all the houses. That's why I can actually give such accuracy, because using the houses and astrology in some small way, I'm not an astrologist, but that's how I actually read. Give you a Celtic cross extended, bring that all in. I use pairs, so I know what's the background effects, what's the clarifying cards to tell us what's happening in the major parts of your life. Okay, so last but not least, here we have the Two of Swords with the Morgan Greer deck. And here's the Morgan Greer. Yep, Sagittarius, Pisces moon, super intuitive. Fabulous to have that moon. Okay, sorry, there's the Morgan Greer deck again. And yeah, very similar to this one, blindfolded. And again, that crescent moon. We had, I think it's a crescent moon tonight. I think it's in Capricorn. Do check on that. I know we had a new moon the other night, and it was all about declutter, detox. What do you want to let go of? Good to do. You can still do it. Get rid of what you don't need. I've got to do a major cleaning up and tidy up. Why? We've had lots and lots of work done on our property by his nibs, and he can only do so much. So it's like all that cement and concrete and tiling and painting and new windows and various bits and pieces that we've been taking forever to do. I'm going to have a major tidy up. I always clear up my crystals, But yeah, that Hoover's coming out. Boom, I'm going to blitz the place. I'm looking forward to that. I probably would do that tomorrow, or maybe a little bit later on this evening. And then I know that I am throwing away, getting rid of what's actually not required anymore, keeping what is important and focusing on it. Okay. Any questions? Anybody got any questions? I hope you like these decks. Just help you to know how different they can all actually be. And I will be trying to get around to doing a unboxing of the Moonology Oracle deck by Yasmin Boland, simply because it's fantastic. I am learning so much from that lady. And, you watch her on Facebook and set the reminder when she's on, because she comes on with some fabulous insight. Their oracle card, she's a great astrologer too, and she knew the very, very best of astrologers, Jonathan Kaner, who sadly is with us no more, but a terrific inspiration and influence in my life. And I absolutely adored how that man communicated. He had a gift to be able to talk to people as if he was talking to just one person instead of the collective. Okay, can't wait to learn more about this lesson. Was fantastic. Mwah! Thank you so much. Oh, you make my day. Why? Because you enjoyed it. Yeah. Feedback. That's all we need, isn't it? Thank you so much. I do hope that you enjoyed it. And I don't know who this Facebook user is. Really enjoying this. Thank you. Oh, please go on to Restream and just give it permission. I'll know who you are. I've never seen that one either. Here you go. I've missed you out there. I'm so sorry, Facebook user. It's lovely. Oh, my doggies are starting now. It's grey and dark, and gosh, it really is grey and grim and dark out there, and they want to go out. We'll have to face it. I don't mind the elements. Facebook user, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, on Fridays, 5 o'clock, 5:30, I will see you. And I'll do some live and some reading for you. Before I go, I did promise that I'd do a read for the collective. So hang on a sec. I will do a read for the collective. Bear with me. Oh gosh, the doggies are barking, so I'm sorry about that. Okay. Right. Got to be the winter wake, seeing as it's winter. So let's do. Got to pop my. Those away for later. Okay, right. Okay, righty ho. Okay, so here we go. Here's a read for the collective for today. For the next 24 hours, this is what we need to know. What do we need to know? Just for all of us. That feels right. Okay, so as you know, I do a major and a minor. Okay. Do something naughty but nice. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. And it's the Justice card there with the 7 of Swords. I love it. We've got the swords while we're doing the sword family in the minor arcana there. So what's this actually saying to us? I'm going to move that there, okay? I think sometimes I can see a little line coming up here because of my camera that overlays onto the table. So what have we got? Okay. Perhaps we need to do a bit of a U-turn in our lives when it comes to relationships. And we need to always know that this is sometimes, we do need to be nice, but sometimes it's okay to be mischievous, okay? Do something that's naughty and that's nice. Do something that makes you feel balanced. We can't be good all of the time. I'm not telling you to be naughty and horrible, but naughty in the sense of, well, a little bit of what you fancy does you good. Just as karma speaks to you, karma will come to the person who acted it out, says Victor. Let's put that on there. That's what Victor's saying. Okay? Let's just move that so. Yeah? That's what he's saying. Lovely. Okay. So I would read that as in for all of us this week, that Seven of Swords. Sometimes we need to actually be a bit sneaky and go in through the back door. Yeah? Sometimes we need to actually not just tell everybody what we're up to, but just go and do it. So if you want to go off and do something that's naughty but nice, okay, do it. Okay? The Justice card, our relationships. Sometimes we actually need to just do our own thing. We don't need to tell people everything. You know, so, I must tell them this, I must tell them. Why? You're allowed to actually turn around and just do your own thing. You're allowed your own private thoughts. So I shall leave you with that. Go and enjoy yourself. Don't do any harm to anybody. But what you're doing doesn't always do harm to them. Do you see? And in relationships, we have that opportunity to actually be good to ourselves. So really, this is about whatever it is that does you good, make sure you do it. I'll see you on Friday for our tarot freebies, 5:30, maybe 5 o'clock. It depends on what the storm does. So look out between those times. It'll either be 5 p.m. GMT or 5:30 GMT, London time, when I will be streaming for about an hour, answering your questions with me, Tarot with Anne-Marie. Please do like, share and subscribe to any sort of groups where you think other people could benefit from either learning the tarot or having a little reading. As Victor said, sometimes we all need a little bit of help, and so therefore that's what this is about. Okay? Yes, it promotes me, gives me a bit of credibility, but it's nice to be with people that I can share the tarot with. I have my customers, of course, I read all the time. But when I'm reading for them, I'm doing what they want, and that's wonderful. I love doing that. When I'm with you guys, you're my playmates as well. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. And thank you for your friendship. And have a great day. I'll see you Friday. Take care. Bye, darlings. Bye-bye.